Hello, everyone. I am Frank Morano. Something happened at City Hall recently that I think every New Yorker should know about because it goes way beyond politics. Mayor Mamdani appointed an 18-member committee that helps screen the people who become judges in New York City. 18 people. And apparently, not one Jewish attorney, former judge, or legal professional among them. Now, that would be troubling enough. But then we learned that retired Appellate Division Justice John Leventhal, who I actually know a little bit and who's a great guy, and aside from being a great guy, he's a very experienced, very seasoned jurist who had been on this panel previously. He had actually been recommended for the committee by New York State's chief judge. And for those of you wondering about the kind of person that Governor Hochul appoints to be New York's chief judge, not exactly a conservative. And oh, by the way, Judge Leventhal, when he was elected to the Supreme Court, was elected as a partisan Democrat. I think he, at one point, was a big part of the Bronx Democratic Party. I don't quote me on that, but I believe that he was. And even though he was recommended by the state's chief judge, the Mamdani administration rejected him. Why? According to the administration, they rejected him because Judge Leventhal's law firm represented Ghislaine Maxwell on appeal. That is outrageous. Judge Leventhal spent more than 4 decades in the law. He served on the state Supreme Court. He spent 13 years on the Appellate Division. He presided over the nation's first felony domestic violence court and built a distinguished record protecting victims and improving our justice system. And we're going to erase all of that because his law firm represented an unpopular client? That's not how the American justice system works. Lawyers represent people accused of terrible things. We know some of the lawyers that Mayor Mamdani has had no problem taking advice from have represented cop killers, represented a terrorist. Sometimes lawyers represent people everybody hates. That's the job. John Adams defended the British soldiers charged after the Boston Massacre. Thankfully, nobody decided that should disqualify him from public office. You don't have to like the client. You don't have to sympathize with the client. But if we start blacklisting lawyers based on who they've represented, we're attacking one of the basic principles of our legal system. And when you combine that with an 18-member judicial advisory committee that apparently doesn't include a single Jewish legal professional, I think New Yorkers are entitled to ask some serious questions. So I'm doing more than complaining about it. I've sent a formal oversight letter to the mayor and his administration demanding answers. I have filed FOIL requests for records and communications about Judge Leventhal's rejection and the selection of this committee. If it is true that he was rejected because of the Ghislaine Maxwell representation, surely there's a record of that somewhere, a memo, a letter. I'm asking my council colleagues to join me in a sign-on letter. Several of my colleagues, both Republican and Democrat, have so far indicated that they plan to join me in signing on to this letter. I've submitted a resolution calling on the mayor to reconsider Judge Leventhal and ensure qualified Jewish representation on this panel. I've also submitted legislation that hasn't been drafted yet to explore stronger transparency requirements for mayoral advisory boards and commissions so that the public can understand how these people are selected. It doesn't take away the mayor's ability to appoint people, just wants to add an element of transparency. And I'm going to seek a city council oversight hearing on this process. This is not about whether you're a Republican, a Democrat, a progressive, or a conservative. This is about whether City Hall gets to talk about diversity while leaving out one of New York City's largest and most important communities. It's about whether lawyers can do their jobs without being punished years later for representing somebody unpopular. And it's about whether the people helping choose our judges are selected through a process New Yorkers can actually trust. I hope Mayor Mamdani reconsiders. He has an opportunity here to correct a bad decision, add a qualified Jewish voice to this committee, and demonstrate that merit and fairness still matter at City Hall. I hope he takes it. Feel free to comment as you see fit.